What's going on, everyone? Alex Linsky here for the Anti-Hustler Weekly Show. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make money on the book of FaceBiz, also known as Facebook, also known as Meta, also known as Zuckerberg's territory in which we run senator ads that make us money. Whatever that is, that's what we're going to be talking about today. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Brian Downard. How are you, buddy?
I'm living the freaking dream.
Heyo, happy birthday to Angie Downard, Brian's beautiful wife.
Thank you.
Super
We're
excited.
a day away, but close enough. I appreciate it. It's the
Now it
week
looks
up.
now I look dumb, but that's fine. Whatever. Just
No,
make your
today is
podcast
the day
look
we're
stupid
celebrating, so I'll
on
give you a pass.
fine, fine. Finally back on the show, by the way. It's been 2 or 3 weeks in a row that I haven't been
Yeah,
here. Really weird. I think
good to have
last
you.
I missed only one show. So glad to be back. Good to be here. Today we're going to be talking about how to make money using Facebook. Pretty important topic considering we stream this show every single week on Facebook and we make a lot of money on Facebook through ads. We're excited about it. Brian, tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
Cool. I mean, you let us in with the intro, but there's three specific things we'll be getting into. The ways in which we've been able to use Facebook over the years to acquire more clients and business. One would be direct outreach to business pages. That is not my favorite, but it is an option and something you can do. And that also, goes for Instagram pages as well, where you were just sending a direct message to that page. We'll talk about some best practices and again get into each of these individually. But that's the first one. Number two would be Facebook groups. Ideally niche specific Facebook groups where your audience is hanging out, and just how to pick the right groups, what to post to get conversations started without being spammy or weird or awkward, because that's a big fear a lot of people have. And then third, the holy grail of Facebook, in my opinion, would be the ads platform, right? Learning and knowing how to set up and run profitable ads to bring you business consistently, because if there's one common denominator of a lot of our most successful clients I see in the program, it's they get ads figured out. They get those on, they get them consistently booking. And then, guys, just imagine if you changed nothing else in your business other than instead of booking maybe one, two sales calls a week, some of you maybe 1 to 2 sales calls a month. Imagine if you were starting to book 3 to 5 sales calls a day. You didn't change anything else about your business. Like, could you make more money? I think you could. Now, obviously, there's other considerations, but those are going to be the three things we talk about. If it's cool, though, I would love to start first, Alex, talking more about the mindset of just using Facebook to make money, because I personally struggled for a long time, and I'll be really vulnerable here with everyone for a second. When I was getting my first business off of the ground in college in my early 20s, I was going through a bad breakup at that point. I really kind of wanted to go rogue. I wanted to delete my social media accounts and like just go off the grid and like really work on myself. And so I had for years this there's nothing pent up, but this opinion about Facebook and what it was and how social media is stupid. The world doesn't need to know what I'm doing. I don't need to be on there. And I think that mindset creates a lot of friction in your ability to go serve and impact the audience you want to and go make money, frankly. And the cool part is too, is if you have some cash flow in the business already, you don't have to be super public about like going on Facebook and posting and putting yourself out there. You can just run ads and not have to be loud on the platform. But people get really afraid of like having to make a post or looking dumb or being on the platform. I just want to try to help you to move past that. If you want to make money and grow your business and do it in a more scalable, easy way, just gotta have to move past that. Okay. It's not the best advice I've ever given. Just get over it. But I'm gonna have to say that they just get over it, right? Figure out whatever it is about the platform you don't love, and just know that if you want to grow your business, make money, it's a great place to be. You should be utilizing it. It does not mean having to post publicly. Alex, I'll let you take this one because you do a lot of posting. I know you kind of battle with the keeping up with the Kardashian content game, the hamster wheel. So I love your take on this as well.
Yeah, I would also just say to add to your point, like, when we have people ask us in POD, like what makes people successful, right? Like when they work with you in mentorship, it's always the same common denominator, which is like consistency on the actions required to succeed, right? The crazy thing is like everyone wants to have a certain level of success determined and defined in different ways for everyone, whether it's a certain financial figure, a fulfillment figure, a time availability, whatever it may be. But every single goal requires some sort of sacrifice and consistency of execution. And so the concept obviously becomes like you can lead a horse to the water, but the horse, if it doesn't drink, there's nothing you could do and it dies of dehydration, right? Or dies of not actually drinking anything. And the concept is the same. And when it comes to your business, like the amount of time and energy you spend on overthinking the perfect message, or should I reach out, or should I do this thing, or making the perfect acquisition system, withholds you from actually doing the work, right? The concept that we
Yeah.
try to do in POD is take the actions, right? Do it quick, do it dirty, keep it going, be consistent, and then evaluate the numbers. Because the concept of trying to having a preconceived notion of what is perfect is so unreasonable and untenable for success that if you just do the things that you're doing, at some point, some trigger is going to work that's going to make it effective. And then you just double down on that trigger. And then it's just a consistent flow of consistently getting better. And if you want to accelerate the process, keep coming to this show, look at the previous shows we've done, join a mentorship community like Prospecting on Demand, and so on. And that makes a big difference. In terms of like the content and hamster wheel stuff, right? Like staying relevant in your industry is really important. And also understanding the invisible impact of social media posting is really, really key. Just because people don't engage with your content doesn't mean inherently that the engagement is bad or that the impact isn't happening. So often we'll have people that come to me and say, oh, I saw this reel and it really impacted me and I loved it. And then I go to that reel and there's no like or comment or anything from that person. And I feel a certain way about it, but ultimately what it is just everyone takes in content differently. The other consideration when it comes down to content is people that want to not decide on an initial sales call, which is, fairly common, right? People don't necessarily want to immediately pull the trigger on buying your product. What are they likely going to do? They're going to look you up online. What's going to likely come up if they look you up online? What has strong SEO? Well, obviously Facebook and LinkedIn and Meta and Instagram and so on and so forth. And if you haven't posted in 3 years on there, probably going to create some skepticism. But if you go on there and there's like a really nice profile funnel and you're sharing some wins from your clients and there's some posts about how you're doing and being vulnerable and talking about wins, what do you think they're going to feel? Much more aligned and willing to work with you. And that happens all the time. So staying consistent to the best of your ability is key.
I do have something better than the initial feedback of get over it as I think about this a little more. One of the coaches we've worked with over the years, Taki Moore, had this funny comment. It sticks out because the phrase he used to describe the person is goofy, and it's definitely an Australian term. But he said, like, in Australia, people who brag about themselves, they call them wankers, which is a hilarious word, which is why it probably sticks with me. But I think that's a big part of this is people are afraid to seem like they're bragging or seem like they're talking about themselves, and they kind of go into the shell, right? So my advice would be is you can shine the spotlight away from yourself and shine it onto your clients, shine it onto the people you're getting results for. So posting stories of client wins, screenshots of client results, I think that allows you to detach yourself a little bit from the content and not have to feel like it has to be all about you. And it also fuels and fills the need Alex is describing, because yes, once you start to do some of the strategies we're about to get into right now, to get more sales calls, people are going to research you, and they're not going to like or love every single post you make or comment on it. Probably none of them, but they will see it, and there's invisible ROI there. I bring up Manuel Bronco very often in this example because a past client of ours, he would just post screenshots of client results, wouldn't get a lot of comments or likes, but every day in the back end that no one can see public facing, he's DMing business pages and roofers to get calls booked. And when they're wondering who is this guy, they go check him out, and because he's got the results, they have a lot more confidence. So I think that's a really healthy balance just to get in the habit of doing it, especially like Alex said, if you're going to run ads, people go back to that ad account, it's got to be something there. So anyways, I just wanted to throw in that that hopefully helps you guys kind of get over some of the initial just fear, frankly, of being on the platform. So now that we got that part out of the way, let's get into some of the fun stuff. The 3 strategies we have for you guys on leveraging Facebook to book more appointments. So first one, I'll go from least favorite to favorite. And the reason why I say least favorite with this first one is Facebook's put some pretty hard limitations on the number of profiles you can DM in a day from your account. In the past, we've gotten away with 30 to 35 a day. We have some clients whose VAs actually hang out online all day, and every hour will send about 10, and you can kind of get away with that, but they've buttoned it up even more. And it's typically around like 15 the 20 DMs you can send in a given like short amount of time to business profiles. And again, like it's not going to be the most scalable thing because 10 to 15 a day isn't a huge amount, but it's something, right? And I know you've been on any of these shows in the past, you've heard us talk about the concept of warm calling, being able to follow up a message you sent as and use that as a touch point to reference when you call that prospect. So imagine this, you take for the next 10 days, you only message 10 businesses a day, right? In 10 days, that's 100 businesses. Now you have 100 people you can potentially call and follow up that initial message. And it's a great place just to start with outbound prospecting, just to get momentum and do something. There's tools out there, specifically the one I've used in the past is D7 Lead Finder. It compiles lists of different industries and niches, but more importantly, it will indicate the links to their social profiles, right? So I'm going to use an example. Let's say you're working with plumbers, and you want to go find more plumbers in Texas. So you're going to go into D7 Lead Finder. You're going to go pick the top 5 to 10 cities in Texas. You're going to indicate plumbing as the niche, and then D7 will compile that list for you. So all you have to do yourself or a VA, hint, hint, eventually I'd want you to have a VA doing this for you. Go down that list every single day, message 10 to 15 of them. Again, play with, I don't get the AI stuff. I got balloons now. There's goofy AI stuff on Zoom. I'm gonna roll with it.
Your audio died. I think you turned it off.
I think we're back now. I
You're
think I
good.
got excited and I punched it. But from D7, you can have now this list of Facebook business pages that you can pull up every single day. Takes you 10 to 15 minutes, get a copy and paste message you can send, and then send that out. Now, to take this a little bit of a step further, why I like D7 Lead Finder is it will also show you who is advertising on Facebook or Google. So if you are running Facebook ads, Meta ads, Instagram ads for your clients, you can use this to have that as ammunition in your outreach messages. By the way, if anyone here on this Zoom call or in the Facebook Live would like our best outreach scripts, if you're like, Brian, what do I send? I could rattle off 20 of them right now, but we have a document already with them compiled. So just drop a one in the chat here or a one in the chat in the group, and we'll get that over to you guys. But having this is the key. Short, simple, direct message. Because you are DMing to the business page, it's a lot like a cold email in that I'm not trying to be conversational here. I'm trying to go for the throat in the most non-salesy, polite, direct way as possible. There's a balance you strike there, right? So I will give, I'll drop one example here in the chat, and I'll kind of talk through it, and then we can go from there. Alex, anything else you want to add in terms of Facebook outreach to business pages?
Yeah, I think you got to follow up and use it as a leverage point for if you're reaching out to local businesses and then there's no response or answer, call them 24 hours later and let them know who runs the Facebook page. Let them know that someone hasn't answered or messaged back. There's no AI incorporated. There's no follow-up. There's no automated messaging. And ultimately, what if there's people that want to buy a product, especially for local service businesses? If a roofer gets a message from a DM message on Facebook about, pricing and they don't answer it for 12 weeks, well, you can pretty confidently expect that that deal's gone. So following up by a call as well is very important.
100%. And I'll just do a quick screen share. I don't want to spend too much time here. We got a number of other strategies to discuss, but outreach script number one, there's 4 different examples, is really just what we call the direct ask, right? So being really specific about like, hey, if I could send you more plumbing jobs every single week, would that be something you and your team can handle, or are you guys too busy? Just making the ask. And what I'm looking for is affirmation that there is a need and desire. I'm not trying to push a product. I'm not trying to be like, hey, we run Facebook ads. Are you interested in us doing an audit of your thing? It's like, ask them for the desire. If they are interested in the desired state, you can provide them, which for 95% of you and the niches is going to be more customers, more booked appointments, more business. So leaning into that angle is almost always the way that I would personally go. And there's just a couple more examples here that you can use. So that would be DMing Facebook business pages. It's very low barrier to entry. All you need is a Facebook page and some time, right? And a script, I guess, a script that you can start sending. The bonus to make your life easier would be using D7 Lead Finder to have the list all ready to go, but you don't even need that. You can frankly just go into Facebook, type in plumbers, type in a location, and then start to go down the list and just DM 10 to 15 a day, follow up with phone calls. It's an amazing, like I said, low friction, low barrier to entry way for you to start doing outbound prospecting and getting the needle moving. Now, again, this would more be at a place if you are towards the beginning of your journey, trying to get some of your first and next clients, not necessarily like scaling the business. And then as you are getting to a place where, hey, we're scaling a little more, this should be a VA's task. I would recommend you still have outbound going, but you don't personally, as the owner, run it. You let a VA do that. So that is the first strategy we have for today. The second strategy in terms of how to make money on the book of faces of the book, whatever we're calling it today, Facebook, Meta, who cares what they call it? Or they will call it in the future. What a stupid name, Meta. I'm not going to rant on that right now. The second place would be inside of Facebook groups. So running and managing a Facebook group has been one of the most successful marketing strategies I personally feel that we've done inside of POD, but it can feel cumbersome, frankly, to have to like manage a group. So instead of doing that, what I recommend is go lean on and leverage other people's groups who already have the captive audience and attention of the people you are trying to serve. So how do you tell a quality group from a shitty group? This is a really important thing to consider. I would, if at all possible, always start in Facebook groups that you had to pay to be a part of or already part of some pre-established group. A really good example is the high level Facebook community, right? Everyone inside of there has to be, and this I think they changed this a little bit, but in the past, it was you had to be a high level user and paying money to get access to that. So if they're paying for access to a thing, you know they're willing to invest money in their business and they have more attention and time, money invested in that direction. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, though, would be public groups that have no privacy or no questions or or they're not private to join. And that this is how you tell a bad group is if there are a lot of self-promotional posts with no engagement. So if you're seeing a lot of people just posting the random stuff, like if you're in a realtor group, people are like posting the homes they're trying to sell or like asking or like just self-promotional, right? If you see a lot of self-promotional posts with no engagement, that is a sign of a Wild West group that is not being managed well, is not going to be good quality, and you aren't going to get great results inside of it. Like I said, the opposite end of the spectrum would be a paid Facebook group. What is more realistic for most of you is going to be not a paid Facebook group, but a niche-specific private group mastermind for the niche that you serve. I get it. Some of those groups may not let you in. I would still try, even though some groups say like only attorneys, only dentists. Yeah, I would still try to get in because you never know. Sometimes that does work. Might have to look for another group if you don't get let into a certain one. But once you are in, here's what comes next. Two specific ways. Once you are in specific Facebook groups, again, a lot of you, anyone here right now, if you're on Facebook, I would bet any amount of money, you're likely already in 1 to 2 Facebook groups for your niche. So here's how I do this. First thing would actually be going to the members lists and then starting with, and I'm going to share my screen again. I think it's the most effective way to do this. So if you're on the podcast listening to the replay, you're just going to have to kind of listen along. But for those of you who attend live, this is the benefit of doing so. When you go into the members of a group, it will show you, if you scroll down just a little bit, to members with things in common, right? Now, I've obviously been integrated into the marketing space for a while now. So when I open this list up, I've got a lot of people with like 100 plus mutual connections. So 300 plus mutual connections, right? You may not have as many mutual connections when you start, but there'll be some, right? You'll have a couple people who just by that law of 6 or 7 degrees of separation, every person in the world, you will have people who have mutual connections and friends. And I would start here and I would be adding these people as friends. Again, depending on when you got your Facebook profile, how seasoned, air quotes, seasoned it is, how much you do this, how often you do this, there are limits. Sometimes what we've found is the limit is like 10 a day. Sometimes people get it closer to like 30 or 50 a day, all going to depend on how much you warm up your account and do this consistently. Facebook will tell you, Please don't bend the rules when they give you that warning of, hey, you're doing a lot, slow down, back up for at least 24 hours and don't do anything else. You don't get banned. Just be kind of wary of that. But I would be starting with the members with things in common, because these are the people now that as I go add them as friends, the approach is different from DMing Facebook business pages. I am not going to be as direct here. I'm going to be much more conversational. It's kind of like hanging around the water cooler, where you're not just going to go up to a random person in the street and be like, hey, buy my thing. It's common and normal for people to do outreach to businesses, but an individual has to be more conversational. So what I would do is, with my friend request, I would send something like this. Be like, hey, Craig, saw we share some connections and mutual Facebook groups. How's business on business on your end? Now, this is a bad example on your end, because I'm just doing this to kind of make a point, and I can probably, me personally, get away with a little bit more vague of an ask, because this is my group. I've got a little more clout in this space. You'll probably know me a little bit, but for all of you, what I do is I coach the 3-step appointment setting process. So very, very quickly, because I could do a whole show on this, is essentially step 1 is a qualifying question, because I want to know if they're even qualified to work with me. Step 2 is a pain question. I want to figure out where the pain is. And then step 3 is extend the olive branch, ask for permission to help. So what that looks like is, in a qualification question, one of the easiest ones to start with is, how long have you been in, right? This doesn't work well on LinkedIn because it tells you actually how long they've been in a space. But if it were like a dental thing, I'd be like, hey, Bob, looks like we share some mutual friends in Facebook groups. How long have you been how long have you been running your dental practice? How long have you been in the dental community? And now this is a good qualification question, because if they answer, oh, I just got started, okay, beginner, startup, probably not the best. Or, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years. We own 3 practices. They're probably not going to just give that information up right away. But okay, a 20-year veteran in the space, probably a bit more qualified. And an example of a pain question might be like, so you respond back like, cool, that's awesome. You've been in here for a while. If you don't mind me asking, where does the majority of your business come from? So now we're wanting them to open up a little bit. Oh, mostly word of mouth, this or that. And step 3, and this pain part of the appointment setting process, you may need to do a little more digging. They might not give you the answer you want right away. Like, oh, we run ads, right? We're actually running ads right now. So, okay, I might have to dig further. Oh, that's amazing. Have they been successful for you? How long have you been running your ads? So I'm digging now a little more for the pain. Once you find the pain, the extending the olive branch is where you basically ask for permission to help them. So a response like, hey, Bob, bluntly, this is actually what we help clients do every single day. If you're open to it, I'd love to give you a couple ideas on how to solve problem X. Would that be cool with you? That, everyone, is my 3-step appointment setting process for like personalized, more personal Facebook group and LinkedIn outreach. Works really, really well. So cool. That is Facebook groups. One little bonus strategy you can use here. People make value posts, right? Like, you've seen this, and we're all marketers here in this room. We're kind of smart enough to see through some of the bullshit, pardon my French, at this point. When we see a self or a value post in like ClickFunnels or the high level group, I don't even think high level lets those fly anymore. We know what's coming. We feel it, like, oh, they're just looking for engagement to go hit them up. One of our coaches, Avery, gave us this idea, and I love it. It's, instead of trying to go make value posts that people see through, go post memes that speak to the pain your prospects feel. So if you've ever seen that funny video, or it's an image of like what the marketing team delivered versus what the sales team sold, and it's like this tire on a swing. I really wish I could find it. It's this funny thing. It's like, what the client's expectation was one thing, what the marketing team promised was one thing, what the sales team sold was another, what the team fulfilled was another, right? And it's this goofy meme that like people feel like, oh shit, I feel that. Like, all these marketing agencies are all hype, over promise, and under deliver. So when you can create your own memes around that, and you post these into the group, it's entertainment value. But the point is, now when people are engaging and commenting on that, potentially, not only does it not the Trojan horse value post that people see through, it's kind of funny. And when people engage with it, now you know they're probably thinking and feeling that way. So the point of the conversation now is, hey, Bob, saw you commented on my post. Thanks for doing that. Is this something you kind of feel that it hits a little bit close to home? I'm just wondering. And you can kind of now, again, finding and digging for the pain based off of that meme you posted that you know they're probably that resonates with your niche. So two ways inside of a Facebook group you can do that. And I saved the best for last, but Alex, I'll let you speak to anything else on the Facebook group you'd like to add.
No, I thought that was all great. I think the important consideration is, as Brian is sharing all of these insights and ideas, the key element is the consistency to do them, right? That's what we were talking about. If you don't stay consistent with execution, or you second guess yourself, it's just never going to happen, right? One other consideration I would just add in terms of your outreach, there's a really cool button on Facebook that you can send a video that's like 20 seconds. If you don't say someone's name on the video, you're just like, hey, I just wanted to circle back to this, make sure you got it. If you send that, and then let go of the button and don't say their name, you can actually forward that exact video to every person you speak to, and they're never going to think like that you forwarded a video. They just thought that you sent them a quick video, and that changes the kind of way that you're outreaching, and that's just a really valuable little addition I wanted to bring up.
For sure. I did find the photo. It's worth sharing now that we spoke about it. Something like this, right? As marketing requested it, as sales ordered it, as engineering designed it, as the place manufactured, as the crew delivered it, what the customer wanted. So, this has kind of been shared around a lot. That's just an example of something that probably people feel deep down. There's a bunch of meme generators out there. So, but I love what Alex is saying here too, like personalizing it even further. When I say personalized, not saying the name, but using that same video over and over again, but it's a personal touch when they can see your face and connect with you in that sense. Love that idea. The last one that we are going to probably set up as a little bit of a teaser, mostly because I'm a little pressed on time today, but always leave the people wanting more. And I will actually give you something you can go use right now to start getting results with what I'm talking about. But the third place is running ads, right? We joke that like it's almost hypocritical if you are a agency running Facebook ads for your clients, but you're not running Facebook ads for yourself. Like you gotta drink the Kool-Aid that you sell at some point. And one of my favorite and best resources, frankly, that we've ever shared was, and I'm going to share my screen again. Lots of screen sharing today. At the beginning of January, I dropped this post, which I will grab a link to right now, and I'll share for everyone who's here in Zoom or live. If you want to go over to that post, if you haven't done so yet, and comment the number 2 on this post, you can see people were literally, I think, even as of this morning and today, making comments on this post. It was very popular 2 hours ago, comments. What happened to it? Here it goes. Basically, we'll give you our ads SOP. You guys are here giving us your time. We want to reciprocate and give you as much value as possible. This is our ads SOP that we give to our clients and that they run and build multiple 7-figure agencies on the back of. If you want that, go to that post, comment too. Our team will get it over to you. Why do we do this? Why do we give away our best resources? We believe that coaching, mentorship is what creates transformation, not just information. Information is helpful. And if you guys can use this to get some of your first wins and get excited and attribute that back to some of the stuff we're teaching here, great. I know you're going to want to come work with us in our programs. That is our intention. So go get money, make wins using those. And if you're in a place where, hey, you're already making some money and you do want some help, quick plug, check out POD. Hit up myself or Alex. Run an incredible program serving multiple 6-figure, 7-figure agency owners, helping them scale and grow. We're really, really damn good at it. But if you want the SOP for the third thing we were going to talk about here today, and we'll do an additional episode and deep dive this one topic for everyone, but it's Facebook ads. And what I think people tend to overdo, including myself when I got started, is I thought I needed to be really fancy. I thought I needed like a webinar, a VSL, this whole crazy nurture follow-up sequence, like all of these moving pieces, when in reality, when we started to surround ourselves with really smart agency owners, media buyers, coaches for our community, we found that just sending people directly to a calendar where they can book with you is the best thing to do. The key here and the secret is to have really strong copywriting that speaks directly to the pain and the desired state. There's multiple examples in that SOP, at least 4 to 5, plus script templates you can use. But if you can speak really clearly to the, hey, Are you running an HVAC company and you're tired of agencies who overpromise and overguarantee but never actually deliver on their promise? Are you looking for real consistency in a way you can rely on growing your business and get leads flowing and in-home appointments to your door and keep your trucks on the road and your guys employed? Click this link below and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together. Again, simple. We're just speaking to the pain we know they feel, the desired state, and the outcomes we can provide. And then we're directing them to a place where they can book on your calendar. Don't make them watch a whole webinar. Don't make them like, don't worry about some long, crazy nurture follow-up sequence, right? If someone opts in and they don't book on the calendar, cool. Call them, follow up. But people overcomplicate this, and we want to give you guys the keys to the kingdom. So go in that post, drop a 2 in the comments. Our team will get you that SOP, and hopefully you guys can get some good results with that.
Good thing I was on today's show. Ryan crushed it for y'all today. Thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We are here every single Thursday, 3:15 p.m. Eastern on the same exact link, sharing value for you every single week. You can find all the replays on our replay vault. If you want that, always just post in our Facebook group. We will send it over. With that being said, be well, and we will see you on the next one.
Adios.